With the help of Signavio, we can go from analysing the full process diagram to reviewing specific parts. And in this example, the Days Sales Outstanding value, referred to as DSO from here, is beyond the threshold. As a result, we take a deeper look, so we head into our dashboards here. From here, we can see more details for our working capital, and we can view our order to cash process, giving us insights into which key performance indicators are at risk. This includes our Net Promoter Score, our average cycle time, and our order to delivery penalties, which we refer to as OTD from here. We can also now view our process discovery, giving us a view of our process deviations and examples of any process flow variance. Now from here, let's dive deeper into our DSO analysis, allowing us to find the root cause of any issues. In here, the OTD is the most related attribute to our DSO values. And now, on the KPIs on the right, we can see that both our DSO and our OTD times are way over our configured threshold. And on the chart below, we can also see that the average OTD by credit sales is also higher, and this is a probable cause of our high DSO values too. Now let's go even further and look at our process discovery view again. In here, we can see that some of our credit sales operations take longer to complete than we want to. So if we go to the credit management process diagram here, we can see that it correlates with our manual operations, and these are executed around our SAP ERP system. And if we look at the related KPIs below, as this gives us our current state of process variance, we see that the incorrect assessments and deals with limits are also way above the threshold. So what can we do about this? Actually, by simulating our credit management process as it currently stands, we're able to then compare it with the potential of implementing SAP Intelligent RPA to automate some of our tasks. So using a 30-day horizon view for our current process, we're able to see clear bottlenecks with the sales reps and a very long cycle time with our costs. So if we then implement Intelligent RPA here, replacing any manual task executions, we see that the bottlenecks have now been removed. Then, exploring the KPI details, we can see that the cycle time values have been greatly reduced too. Knowing this adds great value, we'll move on to the creation of new RPA bots to manage our process. And to do this, we open the Cloud Studio, and this allows us to build bots in a low-code, no-code environment. To start with, we want to extract the credit rules from our SAP system. To do this, we'll use the Process Recorder, a powerful feature which simplifies and speeds up our bot creation. And here, a process expert goes through the process steps on an SAP Web GUI level, including opening the relevant transactions and then performing the credit checks. Each step is recorded here and then later converted into a workflow that a bot can follow. This also allows us to later edit the order of the steps, making our process more universal and robust where necessary. We can also add additional actions on top here too. As you can see, the screens and actions have been captured, and they're now shown on the automation pane within the Cloud Studio. This includes all clicks and selections on the relevant SAP GUI screens, and then after adjusting, we can test it thanks to the inbuilt debugging capabilities too. We can now see how the process is executed. Here the bot goes through the SAP ERP system, interacts with the SAP Web GUI, opens the business partner master data transactions, and selects the relevant partner here. It then goes into the credit limit and control tab and performs the credit check operation with the pre-created rules. We then get to see the results. As a next step, we then want to retrieve the credit scores from third-party credit bureaus. We can perform that through a simple API call, which can also be created within the Cloud Studio. Here we use the loop functionality, as we will work with 3 separate credit organizations. After execution, we see the results in the tester data pane, which returns the name of the organization and the score, plus the date, and we can see all of this information on the right. To help us optimize the approval procedure, we can then use business rule functionalities of SAP Workflow Management. Here, with the help of decision table, we can clearly define them, and this depends on which output from the third-party credit bureaus we have, and whether the approval is required or not, and if so, who is the approver. We can then call business rules through another API call from Intelligent RPA. So let's look at the whole process that we're automating here. First, SAP Intelligent RPA allows us to work on a modular level and combine different parts of the bot with exception and error handling. For this purpose, we have the try-catch block to make the bot stable, which is used after every block here. First step here is to retrieve the credit info from the SAP ERP system, and we then get the credit scores from the third-party bureaus, and this is used calling the business rules to define the approval steps. And then finally, you can see here that we're updating the credit score in the SAP ERP system. In the Cloud Studio, we can also create the simple approval form for the new credit score to be updated. The approver would then fill in this form as an additional user task in between the automation steps. So let's head back to Signavio to see the post-automation process improvement outcomes. We see that the number of variants for credit management is less than 10, which is our threshold. And on the order to cash dashboard, we can see that the key metrics are now within the limits. These include our Net Promoter Score, which is at 81, our cycle time, which is 41 days, and then our OTD penalty is now below the limits too. So this is our automation rate. To make sure that the DSO and OTD parameters are also hitting our targets, we will go to the DSO Analysis tab here, and we can see again the metrics have also improved. So with the help of Signavio, we've identified the problem, and then using SAP Intelligent RPA and SAP Workflow Management, we've considerably improved our process efficiency.